freestyle that shit.
Freestyle. All right. Well, to start off, for the people that haven't seen the trailer or really don't know what Trash Humpers is, tell us what a trash humper is.
Well, first 1 second, I want to draw some dots. This is basically one of my favorite things to do. I draw a dot and a line, and then it connects to another dot. And then I draw here. So what? Sometimes I spend a couple of days doing this.
It's a beautiful little dot maze.
This way. What it does is it mimics the DNA. I was taught this in Bermuda by this guy named Haskell. Hold on. And basically what this does is it starts to work on you like DNA. Hold on. Do you see how it's doing that?
Yeah. And that's how we get our trash humper?
Well, no, that's different, but wait, just watch this. Then, what I like to start to do is write words that are connected to our DNA. Okay? So for instance, wait a second, let me finish this. If you see, now we're really starting to make this look like something. Do you notice basically what animal this is starting to resemble? Well, not actually the form, but just the DNA.
I don't.
Okay, it's very, very close to a fox.
Ah.
This is what I was taught, at least. So we'll start with this. Then what I like to do is to draw words by each nucleus. So for instance, we'll start out with the word, give me, we'll say, fillet. Okay? And then we'll say the word strawberry. Okay, are you following me?
I'm following you.
Then we'll go to something like circus, war, mushroom, hate. Okay, so I think you're starting to pick up on this now. Then we go to Stephen, then ballet. Okay, then we go to kill, then we go to Jew, then we go to spaz, then we go to ring, prostitute, and prostitute takes us to lawn, lawn takes us to sick, sick takes us to bird, bird takes us to Texas, Texas takes us to vomit, vomit takes us to lady, lady takes us to tramp. Okay, see, now we're starting to fill it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
We only have a couple more. We have the word Lewis, jive, let's see, are we finished? See?
No, you're missing that one, and that one.
Okay, this one is definitely the word plate. And then this one will say toe. So basically, what you're seeing now is a dissection of the brain of a fox, but what I'm doing is I'm associating words to their nucleus.
Okay.
So this is a game that I often play with my daughter. So what you can do is you can make poems based on their DNA, right? So you'll say the lady, her name is Lewis, and she's sick, but she also hates birds who hang out in the circus. While she trips on mushrooms, she spazzes out on Jews. she also spends a lot of time in the lawn during her prostitution jive. In her prostitution ring with Steven, who's also a ballet dancer, and throws plates while he kills and fillets.
So you can cross over when it ends?
Yeah. You see, it's actually unlimited. You see what I'm saying? So listen, Steve does ballet with plates while he vomits, kills, and fillets. He eats his toes in Texas. He goes to war with the Strawberry Circus, and he often hates birds who do mushrooms. He's sick of the Jews, but he also spazzes out on the lawn with Lewis, who's a prostitute and jives to the Lady and the Tramp.
That's incredible.
I started getting into this with this guy from Bermuda, and basically I think that it's probably the future of a lot of things.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll sign the chalkboard, and you can have it. Okay?
Got it. That's incredible. That's a still shot right there. What do you call that? What are you calling that piece?
Well,
the brain of a fox?
Yeah, we could call it, let's see, we could call it DNA Fox horror. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Also, we could call it AKA, we'll dedicate it to Eazy-E, AKA Eazy-E, R.I.P., F-U-C-K, L-A-P-D, P.S., S-O-R-R-Y.
That's brilliant.
So, something like this probably could take a person very far in their life.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Did you like it?
I love it. That's our trash humper voice.
Oh yeah, no. I forgot I shouldn't be doing that. It's breaking the illusion.
All right.
So you want to do your questions?
Yeah, still got on some humpers. Real quick. So tell us what a trash humper is.
Well, a trash humper is one of the group of elderly humpers that likes to hump trash. They hang out in back alleyways and under bridges and behind strip malls. They peep in windows, and they basically they're vandals, but they're like they transcend violence and vandalism, and they turn it into just a kind of almost an art form. They live in opposite ways, and yeah, that's kind of what they are.
Where, because this is such a strange idea, and you know, you've had, like, most of your films are really, they can be strange or weird. Where do, you know, last time we talked about Mr. Lonely, where that idea came from. What about trash numbers? Like, where did you get this idea to do this?
Well, I originally, because I walked my dog always in the alleyways behind my house in Tennessee, and sometimes I'll be walking and I'll see these lights, and they're really dramatic, and they're always casting a harsh glow, a beautifully harsh glow on these trash bins, and the bins started to resemble human form to me, and so I remember as a kid growing up there in that neighborhood, there was about 2 or 3 blocks from where I lived, there was it was like a makeshift retirement home that these I guess it was a couple used to run, and they would charge, like $19 a month to us, like warehouse your grandparents or someone that was related to you that you were trying to basically offload. Mm-hmm. And they would stick them out in the basements. And I remember they had a kind of a mandatory dressing code where all the patients would wear black turtlenecks and white nursing shoes. and for some odd reason they would only ever listen to that band Herman's Hermits, and it was almost like a soundtrack to their life, or at least to whatever was going on with them. And so it was very often I would, they were kind of like local, boogeymen characters. That us kids, we'd always try to run away, or we'd joke about it, and we'd see them. They would usually hang out behind the strip mall. They would sometimes sleep in a tire that they would turn into like a nest, and sleep in it. And anyway, I would often see them staring. I had this cute next door neighbor, teenage next door neighbor, and I would a lot of times see the older guys staring at our window. So I just started to, basically, I would dress up my friends in these really kind of crude masks late at night that resembled, well, like, not to say burn victims, but something like that, and we would go out, and I would use only like the crudest type of recording devices and the cheapest cameras and things, and take photos, and I liked the way they looked, and it was kind of, I don't know, scary, and it reminded me, the texture reminded me of like VHS, and so that's when I kind of came up with this idea.
And you cut it on VHS decks, right?
Yeah.
How like irritating was that, or difficult?
No, it was good because the movie was shot very much like what you see. We would go out, we would sleep in the out in the woods or behind like abandoned parking lots and stuff like that. We did it over the course of a couple of weeks, and the characters, we would wake up and just start wandering around, and we would go into people's houses and stuff, and like, so it seemed when editing the film on VHSs that we were still in some ways acting. Do you know what I mean? That even that act was part of the. Even I felt like I was slightly in character, just making it, because I figured that the movie needed to work less like a movie and more like a found artifact, more like just like a discarded VHS tape. Someone that had thrown it somewhere in a ditch, or it had been buried somewhere and put in a Ziploc bag and sent down the river. And so when we were editing, we would usually edit. It was very hot. We would take off our clothes, myself and the editor, and we would stack we didn't just use two, we used several, and then we would kind of do things to the VHSs. We would glitch them, and usually he was wearing like Speedos and stuff.
What made you want to go with using like Rachel and the two other guys in masks versus like real old people? Well,
because I thought it was maybe slightly more horrifying.
Yeah,
I thought for me it was kind of a, what are you looking at question. It was something that was more, maybe slightly more of like an abstraction. That, and then there was practical reasons, just because, getting an old person to do those things would be difficult, just because it's so physical. I didn't want anyone dying on the movie and in the film, and so it just made more sense.
Out of all the stuff that did you make like a storyboard, or did y'all just like kind of go as you?
Oh no. There's no storyboard. There wasn't a script. There was just like a kind of loose idea that every day was like its own chapter. Again, there was nothing. It was like it was a home movie. It was just a document it was like an ode to vandalism. It was like just the joy of destruction. It was the artistry of just blowing shit up. It was just about kind of like documenting the explosions. And so there was never like right and there was never a wrong. It was just a truth. And so that was it. The film was edited in the order that it was shot, and a lot of it wasn't edited. It was just, or the editing was more just like picking a select moment. There was never, we weren't editing scenes in that way, in the traditional way. There was no close-ups and there was no coverage. Everything was only done one time, and then randomly there was an in and out point.
I like that idea you have where it's like, it's just something that you stumble on the tape and you put it in. It's just like, just some, like what happens, and it's probably just, Do you perceive these characters as like sociopaths?
Well,
is it bright over here?
oh no, there was just I was just getting a bounce from
okay.
off the light, but it's okay. I just go like that. What was that question?
Do you see these characters as like sociopaths?
Well, let's see. I mean, I guess it's hard. Could you say that a sociopath is like admirable?
Yeah.
Because I find there's something admirable in their lifestyle. You know what I mean? There's something like beautiful about their lifestyle.
Yeah.
At the same time, I would say that they definitely veer into sociopathic territory. It's more also just this idea that what's good is bad and what's bad is good. It's just reverse. It's just like that speech that the character says. It's like I knew this guy when I was in high school who was very, very smart. It was a Jewish guy that I knew. He was actually a Jewish anarchist. And he used to blow up. He would always read those books, the anarchist cookbooks and stuff, and he would take these gels that he would make, and he would just explode the fuck out of the toilet system in the city. It was just a hobby that he had. He would just walk around. I remember he just exploded the hell out of a lot of public offices, by pouring this gel down, and it would expand, and the pipes would blow. And he was a very, very brilliant man. And I remember that he only ever copied, and I never understood that. Like, he only ever cheated on everything. He cheated on every test you could possibly cheat on. He cheated on tests where he knew the answers, but he only cheated. And I asked him why, and he said because he felt like it took the exact same amount of brain power to be a great cheater as it was to be a great scholar. And he felt like he would get the exact same grade as the great scholar because he was a great cheater.
Yeah. That's interesting.
And so he said at a very young age, he decided he wanted to commit his life to the art of cheating. And I was always moved by that. And in some ways, these characters have a similar philosophy.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Well, cool. I guess, to wrap this up, you made Trash Humpers, now you're promoting it. Do you have, sorry dude, where is it hitting you?
No, sorry, you know what happened? It was that red light. There was a glare coming from the red light.
Oh,
no, I don't mind it, it's okay.
What do you got next, man? What's on your plate now?
Well, I'd like to do a comedy that I wrote. Hopefully in November. I've been spending a lot of time in Mexico filming these, they're called Mexican ball dogs. And they're a horrible animal. They resemble a kind of almost an alien. They have no hair and black fleshy skin that droops, and these massive teats that just drop milk everywhere they go. And the milk smells putrid. It smells like torn up vomit, or like molded yeast with some like lemon juice and I don't know what else. Maybe like gasoline dripped on it with a little bit of like burnt hair smell.
Yeah.
And everywhere they go, they drop this milk, and so I've been spending a lot of time filming these dogs because I want to show people, because what they do is they mate for life, and but then towards the end of their life, they, I guess, when they get older and have kids, they fight to the death, the husband and the wife, and leave one of the spouses dead. And so I just wanted to bring that to the people.
Awesome. It sounds like it's going to be a great comedy.
Well, no, that's two separate things. The comedy is an actual movie, what we would consider to be a film, something that would play in a multiplex, and someone like Celine Dion, or what's her name?
Miley Cyrus?
Exactly. Miley Cyrus might like, or what are those brothers? The Jonas Brothers?
Yeah.
That it's going to be something that's more geared towards them. But the
Can't wait.
the dog thing is more of like a public service.
Okay.
That's
You-
something I'm trying to get myself
And
into.
you want to do like a full length or like a short?
It really just depends how exciting it is. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna close that